This, my friends, is the Razi Sushi, and this is a very tapered, very surfy, very off the tail board, and it's very short and fat. However, it's not what you would think. You know, it's got the light frame, it's got a good price point, it's got urethane dampeners throughout, and as you can see from the review above, I've ridden this in all kinds of conditions, from groomers all the way up to powder. It blows doors on groomers. I'm so surprised, and I think this is why. You know, it's just a well-designed board, but you can see, look at this camber, basically almost all the way to the tail, and then, you know, starts just a little after the board. So you've got a good bit of camber here underfoot. You can see that board spring, then a big, long, rockered out profile with a wide surface area up here. You can kind of see again, and they kind of point where the rocker camber is. And the camber's pretty much to the tail, which makes this really fun. Really fun to turn on groomers. Way more fun than you would think. Than on, you know, it just isn't a powder board. This is what we call snow surf. It's just like not for powder boards. And, you know, I've ridden this in deep, light, fluffy powder here in the Cascades at Mount Bachelor, and then I've ridden this in some thick, ugly powder in Mammoth, and some great groomers in Mammoth, some amazing groomers. So just want to talk about setting this all the way back. Not that you really need it with this thing, because the setback on board is exceptional. You're looking at 22-inch reference stance all the way back using traditional bindings. You're looking at 24 here, and kind of from the middle here, you're looking at 9. Oh my gosh, really? That's 15 inches back on board. That's exceptional. That's amazing. That's why it's so good, but it doesn't feel, I mean, it's definitely tapered and washy, but as you can see, like you're not really, the side cut doesn't go really from here to here. It kind of like comes up and really mellows out as you get towards the nose, once you get kind of into the binding area. So it doesn't feel anywhere near as washy as you would think for this, all this taper. And it's super fun to turn. That's what I think makes it fun to turn, is it just doesn't feel like I've ridden boards like this before that are this far back on the tail, and sometimes they can be a nightmare. They can just flip around. This is a little bucky, a little, you know, bumpy, but all in all, you have an amazing camber profile that has nice spring out of the turns. You've got an amazing setback on board, so you can get really good directional surfy float and powder and really kind of slash everything, but it also turns. One of the only drawbacks we found is, you know, comparing it to boards like the Rome powder division and like boards like the Jones Mind Expander, which is just a little different because it's more flat to rocker with a lot of rocker. Those kept their speed a little better. You know, but this, like, if I was to compare this, like we talked about above, you know, hey, I'd rather be on this than the Mind Expander on groomers. I'd rather be on Mind Expander and powder, but this is still really, really good in powder. And it is a great way to change up the way you ride powder, especially if you're riding, if you're making lots of quick turns in trees or tight spots, and you really, you're constantly, you know, adjusting and turning, then you're going to really like a board like this. Maybe the XV would be better for a wide open shoot, you know, a wide open steep run to really get some speed, but that can still handle the tight shoots and stuff like that really well. So all in all, this little Sushi here does a great job, and I don't know if you can see the light wave, you know, two things here, but for this price point, it's really hard to find a short fatty that's much better than this. It really comes at a great price point, and I think does a great job for those looking for a really surfy ride that can carve groomers and ride powder. There you have it.